dishes are windy today, so I gotta support the camera. But let's start off with get the scripture real quick. Can you get Ecclesiastes 10 and 2? It's lucky I was under the weather, so my voice sounds bad.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 2. It says, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, the fool's heart at his left. Ye also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him. And he saith to everyone that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding
Pacifies.
pacifieth great offenses. Continue.
Yeah, so yeah, so what we just read, Salakia, it highlights how we really conduct ourselves nowadays, especially now that we're in this truth. It's probably the sign there for. What's the sign? What's the sign? What's the sign? We have to read that again from the top. Yo.
I gotta read loud.
It's gonna be a long camp.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 2. A wise man's heart is at his right hand.
So the heart represents a person's mind.
It says a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left.
Yeah, so the right hand represents like power, and then the left just represents like, you know, flimsiness, you know, the anti against power. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the righteous sit on the right hand side of the Lord, wicked on the left hand side.
Yeah, which if you're wicked, then you're not gonna stand the test of time. You're gonna end up folding anyway.
It says, ye also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool.
Yeah, because you know most people, they conduct themselves in a way where they're trying to conform to this world. You know what I'm saying? They just look after the trends. They look at the status quo. They look at what everybody else is doing. You know, our whole life, everybody's been taught what? You go to college, naturally you'll end up making more money. But now you see how the roles have reversed. You know what I'm saying? The older generation has always preached that. Yeah, go to school, make more money. You know, you'll make more money. You know what I'm saying? But not everything's as black as white as it used to be back in the day. Things is more complex. People aren't taking into account inflation, which you can't defeat. I'm over here. I was at the mall. I was window shopping. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at the price of Nike, like you know the Nike Tech and all that stuff. You know how back in the day it used to be $100 for a fleece?
Yeah.
Now it's $140.
And
That's nothing but inflation. Because what changed? The quality? It didn't.
that's like even like, you know, the Nupsies, the North Faces. I remember back at one point, it was like $250. What are they now? Like $300?
Yeah. You can't cut corners on the North Face though.
Yeah.
You gotta stay warm, especially if you're in New York. But for a goddamn like fleece, zipper, some Nike, like come on, 140?
It's not even 100%. This is where we at? Ecclesiastes 10 and 3. It says, ye also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses.
Yeah, so in other words, if you're around somebody that has power, somebody with a name, you know what I'm saying, it's best that you just bow down and take the high road. You know what I'm saying? Or else you never know what emotion you might elicit from them. You might have to face that person's wrath. You know what I'm saying?
It says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
You can't just skip over that. Read that again.
Ecclesiastes 10:7 again. It says, I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yeah, service upon horses. Remember that statue that So, what that represents is how it says that you've seen servants upon horses. So it's ironic how, the so-called white man is on top and how he has power today, because the scriptures say that he is like the basis of men. He's not an originator. He's everything he gets, he takes. You know what I'm saying? Yet the people that are like, the most creative, the most blessed, the most gifted, they're the ones that are servants. They're on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So that's us as a people currently.
Continue it out.
That's it, right?
Listen, Ecclesiastes 10:8. It says, he that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 1. It says, doeth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors.
So wisdom comes in a feminine spirit, really, because it's nurturing. When you think of women, you think of nurture, right? So, in a way, this truth nurtures you. Having wisdom, it makes your life easier. It makes you feel more comfortable. You can navigate throughout this world as much as it tries to kick you down.
At the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that findeth knowledge.
Yeah, so it's like, if you know, you know. When you hear the truth, you know what you're hearing. When you see the men out there in the highways and the hedges, you know what you're looking at.
It says, receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate.
So that's self-explanatory.
You see, it says how, he hates evil. And in this world, Babylon the Great, we have a wicked rulership ruling over us, the people. That's why the world is so out of order. It's because we have the wicked, which is evil, ruling over really the planet for real.
That'll change. That's going to change.
It says 14th verse, Proverbs 8 and 14. It says, counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me.
Yeah, those that seek thee early shall find thee. And it's like for us, we came into when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a plus when you come in when you're younger. Because then you're less, set into your ways. You ever try to kick the truth to somebody that's older in your family, and it's like they're already so far gone. There's really not much you can say to that individual.
They're so far gone they can't even give up crab, shit like that. That was nothing to us. It was nothing.
Yeah, as soon as we found out, we quit eating that
Cold turkey.
right. And that's the least you could do. That's the basics.
bare minimum.
The dietary law.
Bare minimum.
And just for the past week, so-called Christians, Catholics, whatever they are, there's really 10 tribes that celebrates it the most, I heard. They haven't been eating meat all week because it's been
Good Friday.
yeah, Palm Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
It starts on Sunday and then it ends on Good Friday or something like that.
Which
So-
doesn't even.
So they don't eat meat for the
Yeah.
week, which is weird.
I think it's like red meat and chicken. I think they just eat fish. I don't know.
Yeah, they can only eat fish.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's protein.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
meat.
Get it. Yeah. Proverbs 8:17 again.
But we've been keeping the Passover. Matter of fact, it started on Wednesday and Sunday. So right now, this is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So what we do is we don't eat bread that has yeast in it, no leaven. And then they got their thing where they don't eat meat for a week.
Right.
So it's like, what the hell's going on?
Where they get that from? I don't understand where they got it.
And then they got Easter coming up on Sunday. It's Good Friday, so that means that God died on Friday.
Right.
And then, but it said in the scriptures that he was in the ground for 3 days. But Good Sunday, how do you get 3 days out of it?
It's in the simple things. It don't take a rocket science to figure out. Okay, Friday to Sunday, that's 2 days. So where did they get this calculation from?
If somebody brought that to my attention, it's a Spanish chick. I was like, yeah. So if it's Good Friday and you got Easter on Sunday, how do you get 3 days out of that? They didn't even have an answer. They can't even explain that.
Because these people, they don't know why they do what it is they do. They just do it because it's been passed down to them from generation to generation.
Exactly.
This knowledge that we're out here kicking, we're really the first of our generation that's in this faith that deal with this. I don't have nobody that's in my family that's an Israelite and out here preaching the word and the truth. We're really the first of our generation. And we know why it is we do what we do.
First of the generation.
Proverbs 8:17 again. It says, I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. And the elder brother, not the Zakba always says, there is a such thing as too late. You got to get this truth, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding while you still can, if it's meant for you to receive it. It says, riches and honor are with me, ye durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, ye the fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Because this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what's going to keep you stable when all hell breaks loose. When the money has no value, what good is it going to be to you?
Yeah, that's a fact.
It says, I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures.
So hopefully we're of that number, we're of the elect, we're of the chosen. You know what I'm saying? Because what did the scriptures just say? It says that those that love the Most High, they're going to inherit substance. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for great substance. You can't really say that we have anything to ourselves in this society. Like, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, damn, we really don't got shit in this society. Not much to look forward to.
That's why in this society, like right now, it's not prudent to be trying to chase the bag. Like, yeah, we all need to sustain, we all need to live, but trying to chase the bag and just putting all your energy into that, it's not going to be lucrative in the time to come.
And I hate that hustle spirit. Because first of all, that spirit is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know how people have that like entrepreneur hustle spirit, and they always try to sell you something. And first of all, if what you got is so good, it should be able to sell itself. You know what I'm saying? I just never really liked that, you know? And that's so like draining too, because then your mind's all about like, you know, trying to like make money and stay afloat.
Like that's literally all, like the people that have that spirit on them, that's literally all they're consumed with, is trying to get some money.
Yeah, and in some cases there be nothing they won't do to get what they want.
Right.
You can't trust people like that. So you gotta watch out for shady individuals that chase after money and they make it everything. And that's basically what majority of women do. You know what I'm saying? Because just think how maniacal of a person you have to be to go to school or college on a whim and get some degree and it be like $40,000, $80,000 in debt. And just maybe you'll get a job. I mean, unless you go into school to become like a nurse and it's like cut and paste, it's like, all right, yeah, more or less you'll get a job afterwards. You know what I'm saying? If you got so many women that just be going to school just because, you know what I'm saying? And they trying to like get a career, make money, but it's like, you find out that a lot of people, they could fly the plane, but they just can't land it. You know what I'm saying? They just need help.
Right.
They need guidance.
Again, Proverbs 8:21. It says that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Lord Yahweh possessed me in the beginning of his way, before the works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no fountains, abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. And that's, the elect. The elect, scripture says the elect was chosen, before the, creation of the earth, roughly paraphrasing. That's the foundation of the earth. It says, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depths. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep. When he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth.
Yeah, we was there. Because you know how the scripture said that the Most High used the angels to create everything on this earth. That's why we're gods too. We're considered gods.
It says, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth. And my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord Yahweh. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death.
And it's quite simple. You get right with the Most High, you're more likely to have a prosperous life. The scripture. This is Luke 9:22. I'm starting off at verse 22. Saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things and be reproved of the elders and of the high priests and scribes, and be slain, and the third day rise again. So again, how do you get 3 days if the Most High's Son got put to death on a Friday? Let's go by their argument. They got put to death on a Friday, and they rose on a Sunday. That's Easter. How do you get 3 days out of that? But anyway, verse 23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross daily, and follow me. So that cross can be heavy, you know? Some heavier than others, but either way, we all gotta carry our cross. You know what I'm saying? Some people be trying to run, they be trying to escape. But you gotta master that pain and just learn how to suffer. Get used to it. Learn how to be uncomfortable. Somebody once told me that. For whoever will save his life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what advantage is it a man if he win the world and destroy himself or lose himself? So, in other words, it's like, what do you really gain at the end of the day? If you sell out, you compromise your morals, your principles, your foundation, all for, the inanimate objects or money that you may be trying to gain in this world. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it at the end of the day. For whoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his glory, and in the glory of the Father and the holy angels. And how now, it's like, people like to make fun of the Israelites. Like Drewski, he did that video trying to mock the Israelites. But I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was corny. Anyway. But we're going to see who has the last laugh when Judgment Day comes. That's it.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 4. Let's see if there's Yes, verse 4. It says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do.
Yeah, so in other words, don't try to trace down your lineage, because, we've been on this planet for thousands and thousands of years.
It says now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and of good conscience and of faith. That was the point of the fourth verse. Because that's really a fable. So died on Friday, and now it's Sunday, but we know he rose on the third day. So how can you make sense of that? Like you need somebody to really break that down. You can't make two plus two is 4. And you trying to tell me 1 plus 1 is 3.
Right. You come to find out that most people are just followers. They follow trends. They follow what they've been taught. They don't question it. They don't think outside the box. And that's like something you got to do when you come into the truth. You start thinking outside the box. You start to question everything that you've been told, everything that you've learned. You know what I'm saying? You got to be inquisitive. Otherwise, you're just what? A yes man? Imagine us being lost in like the system, being lost in like church or whatever. We holding on to a religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's that gonna look? How would that work for us? We'll be just like everybody else, lost. Because Christianity has been around for what? Over 1,000 years since the Renaissance period. Well, almost 1,000 years. But yeah, the point is, Christianity's been around for a long, long time. And if that was the truth, then why is this world in chaos the way that it is? You got these Catholic priests that are basically no different than that dude that had the island. They was a PDF themselves. You got these Christian pastors that is basically just, making money off the congregation, saying stuff that sounds good, trying to find another girl that they can, take from a dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing but a dating ring and a money racket. That's all the church is. It's single, lonely women that are looking for a husband, because once you hit that once reality hits you, you find out that, damn, having a man really does make my life easier. Then that's when you start to, you start to desire that. You start to want that, as a woman.
But that was, believing in the serpent, thinking you didn't need a man, Any woman with a right mind knows what, how valuable a man is.
A man is the prize.
Let alone a man of the Lord.
Exactly. Like, when you do the cross-benefit analysis, like, as a man, you lose way more than you gain when you deal with a woman anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a woman, she should like really prioritize a man. The sooner she finds one that's good, the better, really. But as a dude, you also gotta be careful, because there's some women that'll just look at you as like a wallet. That'll just use you. And they ain't really worth a dime.
This is Psalms 97:10. It says, "Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked." And that's our hope. The Lord's will we're of the elect. Because we need our hedge of protection to cover us from what the wicked have planned for the people here, for Babylon. You see, because you see the rise of gas prices, the rise of food. This isn't happening by an accident. This is organized chaos. It's a controlled demolition to bring forth the mark of the beast, the chip. It says, "Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, ye righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness." That's it. Crazy how it just got break.
It's 48 degrees. I I should have worn my jacket. Sometimes you gotta go with your sixth sense.
It was 70 when I left the house. Let's go to Second Hedges, chapter 9.
Then again, we got out here pretty late. Shit.
This is Second Ezra chapter 9, I'm gonna start at the top. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and you're seeing that on a small scale now. People on the internet complaining of, the cost of living, the conditions that they're living in, the rise of gas prices, food prices. You got people that are really starting to feel the squeeze now.
Gas prices, it don't make no difference to me because gas, the price has been fucked up. It's been the same. It's not like it was 10 years ago where you put $20 in your tank and get you to half a tank. Where are them days at? If it ain't that, then it's already fucked up. So, it is what it is for me. I don't care.
Yeah, I still put 40 in at a time anyway. I don't even give a damn. I ain't even feeling though. I'm putting 40 in at a time.
In fact, you better off not even looking at the prices. What you want to walk?
And it's like the gas, this shit burns so fast now.
Yeah, they say.
I'm like, yo, I put gas in the car this morning, and I'm driving, and that shit is damn near almost a quarter gone. And I just put it in this morning. I barely went anywhere.
You know what else I found out? I hope this isn't true. But if it is true, it is what it is. They said that they cut the gas now with corn. I gotta find the information. Matter of fact,
Ethanol?
Yeah. Apostle Tahari did a video on it.
That makes sense. I was thinking, because I'm like, yo, are they like dipping into the reserves or something? Because I know when gas sits for a long time, for a portion of time, it loses its potency. So I'm like, that's what's going on right now? Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. It says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna grab something.
What's going on here?
This is Romans 15 and 4.
Yo, peep game.
That's why he was waving it down.
Block is hot.
This is Romans 15 and 4. It says, For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And you see the prophecy, everything that's going on now, we know what the end goal is. So it doesn't come as a surprise to us. We understand what has to come to pass, that the wicked have to have his plan play out for the end of this world to come.
Oh, God.
It did.
I didn't even know my battery was low.
I thought it was dying because it was that cold. Like, it ain't that cold. I'm going to read back to 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 4. It says, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." See, everything has a beginning and an end. America had its beginning, and now it's coming up to the end. America is about to be destroyed by nuclear fire, whether you believe it or not. It says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest."
Yeah, the end is manifest. You know what I'm saying? So we're coming into the end of this age. And it's evident, like you could really see the writing on the wall.
It says, "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning."
So yeah, let's focus on that word salvation. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta wonder, like, what are we gonna need salvation for? And the answer to that question is it's gonna be Jacob's trouble, because that has to do with society collapsing, all hell breaking loose, life as you know it just being interrupted. You know what I'm saying? And also the mark of the beast. Because you gotta think, like what you said earlier, like this is the controlled demolition of the system. And it's really hard to not see that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being the case and the economy being what it is, this is like the perfect setup for them to roll out the mark of the beast system. Look, everything's unaffordable. Like, at times it's hard when you can't even really afford a roof over your head. Like, gas prices are so goddamn high, people don't even want to go out no more. They don't even want to get dressed up and go out. And if they do, it's got to be something that's really worth it to them, When they rolling up with their crew, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just all pitch in, put some money down. So now every move you make, it's got to be something
Calculated.
yeah, that you have conviction in your heart to do. It ain't like it's the old days where you could just whimsically go out and, just waste money. You know what I'm saying?
Second Hedges 9:9. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet the place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
Yeah, and they, when I speak of they, I mean, the 2/3, the scoffers, the naysayers, the non-believers, they even, yes, they had their chance to get right, They still have their chance to get right. But ultimately, you have the number that are just gonna be like, judged. They got to just die. That's what it is.
It says, the same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. And the world was created for the Israelites. Ultimately.
It wasn't created for the so-called white man to run the world with his capitalist system forever, you know. While he gets richer, while everybody else just gets more poor.
Right. The world wasn't set up where everybody could live in equality.
There's nothing equal about capitalism when you think about it, because somebody has to take the L. Somebody has to get used. And it ain't like you got the rich that are distributing the riches either. You know what I'm saying? There really shouldn't be a world where you got this many billionaires or trillionaires, yet you got people that are poor and homeless, that don't know where their next meal is coming from, that can't afford to eat healthy.
I did a lesson on that. I titled it "Equality is a Low Goal." If you're like, that's a low baseline. If that's if that's your mindset, as Israelites, you should understand that the world was created for your sake. The world was created for the Israelites because the law was given unto us, the Israelites.
Well, equality amongst us, the Israelites, is a good thing.
Yeah, amongst each other.
All us being on the same social status,
right?
That's a beautiful thing.
Right, amongst each other.
That's what we all want at the end of the day. We don't want to have to worry about, this brother having more, this brother having less, and then the brother that got less, he's over here plotting and scheming on that guy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want to live in a world where there's no such thing as jealousy.
But with the Lord, always peace. Good. Peace comes from God. I know you know that.
Sure indeed.
Be blessed. Keep up the good work.
You too. Thank you.
Second Ezra 9:50. It says, I have said before and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved.
Yeah, so more people, they gonna be put to death. That's most people. So that means that you and everybody you know is gonna, well, not you per se, hopefully not, considering you're up to elect. But that means you and everybody you know is not gonna make it, potentially. That's a fine line.
It says, like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed as the flowers be. Such are the colors also. Such as the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves.
So everything in this world is corrupted. Why? Because the righteous are not in authority. That's why everybody's crazy and depressed. And some people, they still can't quite figure it out. It's like, why am I like this? It's because you wake up and do the same thing every day and you're running the rat race. You go to school every day, or you go to work every day. You pay bills, you pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, that's no life for us to live.
That's why everybody's so damn depressed. Just for AI to take your job that you're trying so hard to get. It says, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
AI.
Because really the earth was made to be a paradise. But through, generation, got worse and worse, and just wickedness just grew exceedingly throughout the earth.
Really?
It just corrupted this place.
Really, how the world is supposed to be run is like everybody's got their land and their border, and everything's supposed to be like laissez-faire, like hands off. Like you're not supposed to tax this person, you're not supposed to rule over this person. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how this world should be.
That's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. Like other than Esau, like the other nations, once they serve their punishment, their captivity, they're gonna get sent out into their portion of the land. You know?
They still gonna be under us though.
Yeah,
like,
they're gonna be
we
under
gonna be
us.
treating them so well, they might not even want to leave.
Yeah, they're gonna still be, paying tribute to us.
Yeah.
But they're still gonna have a quality of life.
Like I find that the other nations, as ignorant as they are to who we really are as a people, like truly as the Israelites, and even in our ignorance as a people, like they still don't treat us as bad as white people.
They mind their business for real.
Yeah, they treat us considerably well. You know what I'm saying? Like
Elam and Gad, they don't really cause Jake no trouble.
Gad is Israel.
I mean, what I say? I said Gad. I meant Elam and Moab. Moab, like they don't really give Jake no trouble. They just live in foul. They just
you could just look at them and tell they need some guidance.
Yeah.
And that's when we're gonna come in.
Right.
We're gonna give you some help.
They just be living dirty, be eating foul, shit like that. They just gotta clean their
Especially
act.
Moab, but what you say? Elam?
Yeah.
Elam, they be eating good.
Yeah.
They be eating good.
They dirty though.
Yeah, when you ever see them street videos?
Street
Food videos or whatever? Yeah, they eating foul.
They dirty.
They don't have proper cleaning.
Yeah, they hygiene is over.
You know what I'm saying?
Moab, they'll eat anything. There ain't nothing they won't eat.
But yeah, nobody hates us as much as Esau.
Same.
Like you can go over to China, you could live, like you know what I'm saying, you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? You go to Japan, you'll be good. You go to India, you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? But if you go over to like a European country, they might roll up on you, like, what you doing over here? I seen some Jake, he was doing a video. He was in some European country, and some white dude pressed him. He was like, "You don't know nothing about this country."
I think I saw that.
Yeah. And I think that the white dude spit in his face.
And he knocked him out.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah. He's like, call the police. Call the cops. And everybody was just standing around, like.
And then they got this thing going on where it's like wherever you see black people at peace or minding their business, there's always a white person that's staring at them, looking at them. And then there was like this video of some girls. They looked like they were sitting down in like somewhere in France or whatever. Like, they were sitting down eating, and you got a white dude just staring at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell are y'all doing over here? You know what I mean? Like, whenever you're around white people, you always gotta like question and wonder like their intent and their motive. It's like, are they hating on me? Are they jealous of me? Do they hate to see me living?
That's the thing, though.
Which one is it?
That's the thing. Everybody says that, like, white people can't mind their business. There's no really such thing as white people, but
Yeah.
they can't mind their business. So, 2 Ezra 9:21, it says, "And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people." And that's talking about the elect. You'll have a whole cluster of grapes, but that one is that he saved is talking about the elect, the chosen. It says, "Let
that
the
grape has a seed in it. They like the shit you get in the grocery stores typically where you don't got seeds in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too. Like when we get to the kingdom, like food, it's gonna be organic, it's gonna be fresh, it's gonna be as it should be. In this kingdom, you always gotta question and wonder like, where's your food being sourced from? Like, what's the quality of it? You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you I got some juice, like a juice bar? Then I didn't tell you, but I asked like the person, I'm like, yo, is this stuff organic? In my mind, I already know it's not organic. They're like, yeah, nah. So now it's like you gotta know what this to like order to make sure that you avoid like the fruits that got like the pesticides in it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want that in your system.
There's just certain fruits that if it's not organic, they tell you to stay away from.
Yeah.
Like a strawberry.
A strawberry or a celery, right?
Yeah. Something where the pesticide that they're spraying on it doesn't penetrate the actual fruit. Like something like a pineapple. You can eat a non-organic pineapple. You can eat
They say that something that grows on a tree, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can get away with it not being organic. But if it grows from the ground, then it should be organic.
Okay. That makes sense.
You ever seen a pineapple the way it grows? It's like a tree. I heard it takes years. It takes like 5 years, I think.
Something like that.
Don't grow an apple tree. That'll take you like 20, 30 years. You gotta have time for that.
22nd verse. It says, "Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for it was great labor, have I made it perfect. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers, where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only, and pray unto the highest continually. Then I will come and talk with thee." That's it. I'll end it there.
We got one more scripture and I'll wrap it up.
All right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5. I don't know if I read this last week. Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 1. It says, "Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago."
We're living in that time today, especially in America.
It says, "And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon rise in the day, and blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. And even he shall rule, whom they look not for, that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. And the Sodomitish sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and the menstruous woman shall bring forth monsters."
Yeah. So in the last days, there's gonna be sporadic patterns by animals. You know what I'm saying? You know how the scriptures say how like animals will show you signs. I'll give you an example. Have you ever heard about the doomsday fish?
The doomsday fish?
You know, so it's like a deep sea fish that never ever comes up to the surface, and it's like an old folk tale or belief that when they do come up to the surface, it's an ominous sign. It's a sign that something bad's about to go down. And lately, a lot of doomsday fish have been coming up to the surface.
What does that look like?
Look it up.
Is it lawful to eat?
No,
Doomsday fish.
it has another name too. But And when they come up to the surface, they instantly die.
So the doomsday fish is a common nickname for the oarfish, a rare deep sea creature that can grow over 30 feet long. That shit is crazy. Ninth verse, it says, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. And that's really what you see here today. It's like each generation gets worse and worse.
They get further and further away from all the higher power.
Our power. It says, one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper.
Yeah, and that's these people that go and get these degrees, and they lose their job, they get laid off.
That's it right now.
All right, so with that, we're gonna close. Shalom. Shalom.